Hey guys, Youngblood with you, and we're leaving the relatively safe border system of Vega and moving just one jump away to the Vanduul border, and that's going to be the Virgil system. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that the Vanduul systems had this sort of classified look to them on the Starmap, so I'm going to kind of be jumping in and out of the Starmap video as it can be a little bit hard to look at. Virgil is an interesting system in its discovery because it was initially thought to be unreachable in its location. However, in 2412, an astrophotographer by the name of Elaine Victus had left Vega, was an empty space, and decided to completely stop his ship so he could get this highest resolution picture possible. The ship systems were just basically completely offline. However, he wasn't able to complete the picture. And after a bit of investigation, it turned out that his ship was moving an almost unperceivable amount. That was due to a previously undiscovered jump point that was only 400 meters away from where he randomly decided to stop. A jump point found by sheer luck using no scanning technology to a system that was previously thought to be out of our range. That's pretty lucky. And everybody in populated systems felt the same way. Virgil is a K-type star, and it has 3 planets in orbit, and the first of which was considered to be the best candidate for terraforming ever discovered. And in just 10 years, it was a booming human planet. The general success on Virgil 1 led to this unprecedented expansion into the human systems. They decided to just start moving outward. And it almost became this icon for human expansion. Now, not only was this planet a good candidate for terraforming, but the planet had this super soil that basically meant that the plants would grow basically to huge sizes. They'd grow very fast. And it was really good to becoming like an agricultural planet. And the planet really became a kind of a touristy destination for those that were interested in the exotic plants here, and the primary export was plants and food that were grown on this farm haven of a planet. Now, this would all start to change, though, in 2681 with the discovery of the Vanduul. And with the immediate clash of our races, the proximity to the Vanduul colonized space, Virgil quickly became a base system for the military. And while Virgil was certainly considered in danger, the front lines were actually held in the neighboring system of Tiber. Now, all of this military action led to a good portion of the population leaving the system, and they would end up turning out kind of being the lucky ones. Tiber eventually fell to the Vanduul, and the push they made was too quick and violent for the Navy to get back together and form another line here in Virgil. The Vanduul looked at Virgil 1 as their prize for their hard-fought victory in Tiber, and they took that prize with force and basically completely devastated the planet, leaving the once green planet as an apocalyptic wasteland with ash stuck in the atmosphere, basically leaving the planet in a nuclear winter state. For the most part, the only civilians that ended up escaping were those that were escorted out by the famous Squadron 214's interceptors. Now, these brave pilots, after seeing each of these civilians to safety, returned to try this act again. Virgil 1 is now this ghost town. It's merely a memory to most. The air is now poisonous, and because of that, no one really ventures here anymore. Virgil 2 and 3 are largely unremarkable planets. 2 is a smog planet, and that's about it. The one interesting fact about Virgil 2, though, is that the military says that the Vanduul avoid this planet like the plague. So I'm not sure if it's maybe superstition on their part, or maybe it's like an allergy to the smog, or maybe even potentially there's just a more dangerous threat that ends up living on this planet. But something about this planet isn't right. Virgil 3 is an ice giant, and the only thing of real note here is that the planet has large amounts of water, ammonia, and methane, all of which would have eventually have been tapped if the system was just around for longer. So there's also this asteroid field that's present here, and while it has iron and titanium, to date there haven't really been found large enough quantities to make it real promising for mining, especially on a larger scale. For a while, the military would kind of sneak back into this system to try and keep an eye out for the Vanduul, to give those in Vega and other bordering systems a better idea if raids were coming in. But lately, they were able to actually install these stealth surveillance buoys that are capable of performing kind of early warning tasks. So there you have it. That's Virgil. So who is going to want to come to this system? And I say it that way because being a Vanduul populated system, I can't envision anybody trying to make this their home. First off, I think fighter jocks are going to enjoy coming here. You may be even able to pick up contracts in Vega to come in here and collect your ace status. I think search and rescue teams could have a lot of fun in this system, coming in to find distress signals, rescuing people, and then bringing them back to safety. I actually think this would be a really interesting system for that, and something that I may end up trying out with the organization. Starfarer pilots may want to try and pick up some escorts and head over to Virgil 3 to collect resources, and then take them back to a civilized space to try and sell them off. And while they say there's not a ton of resources, at least described in that asteroid belt, I have to think that a belt with materials already noted in dangerous space may be more valuable than they're initially letting on. And finally, I think explorers are just curious people who want to find a way to visit Virgil 2 and figure out what the hell is going on that keeps the Vanduul away so effectively. So there you have it. That's Virgil. That's going to be it for now. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you guys have yourselves a wonderful night. Stay tuned for more content. I'll catch you guys later. Take care.